For number 11, we're going to be subtracting. We are working with these. We have to remember that we can combine only like terms. So we need a like denominator. So for a denominator here, we're going to find that by finding our least common multiple. And we have 5, which is 5, 4, which is 2 times 2. So we take the most 2's and the most 5's, and so that's the 2's and the 5's, which gives us 20. So our new denominator is going to be 20. Our whole numbers are going to stay exactly the same. We're only changing the fractions to get like denominators. So then we multiply 5 times 4. So 3 times 4. Whatever we do to the denominator, we do the numerator. And that gives us 12. And then on our second fraction, 4 times 5, so 1 times 5. So now we just basically do two problems. First of all, we subtract our whole numbers. 6 minus 1 gives us 5. And then we subtract just our numerators. 12 minus 5 is 7. And our denominator is just a like term, so it just stays at the end. Because the size of the piece doesn't change because we're taking pieces away. So 5 and 7/20ths for number 11. For number 12, we have 5 12ths and 7 8ths. So for this, we're going to, first of all, have to find a common denominator. We can only combine like terms, so we have to have a like denominator, or common denominator. We do our factoring tree. 2 times 6, 2 is prime. 2 times 3. And then 8 is 2 times 4. 2 is prime, so we circle it. 4, we keep going until everything is prime. And once again, prime means it only can be divided by 1 and itself. So now we take our most 2's. Our most 2's are here. 2 times 2 times 2. And then we don't need those 2's then, and our most 3's. So now we're going to have 4 times 6, which is 24. So our least common denominator or least common multiple is 24. So we're going to make these both 24's, and then we only have to worry about looking at our numerators. So 12 times 2 is 24, so we do 5 times 2, and we get 10. And 8 times 3 is 24, so we do 7 times 3, and we get 21. So now we just add the numerators, because the denominator is simply a term or a tag, and we get 31/24. Okay. Now we have one more step here because our denominator is smaller than the numerator, so therefore an improper fraction. So we have to change that into a mixed number, and a fraction is a division problem. So 31 divided by 24. So we always do 31, first number divided by the second number. Goes in one time. Okay. So it goes in one time, and 1 times 24 is 24. Then we're going to subtract. 11 minus 4 is 7, and then 2 minus 2. So we get our remainder here, and the denominator is always just going to stay the same, 1 and 7/24. So once again, if you had 31/24, you would have 24/24 here, which would make one whole one, plus you would also have left over 7/24. So 1 and 7/24. For problem 13, we already have a like denominator. So we can simply add our whole numbers. 18 plus 9 is going to equal 27. Then we're going to then add just the numerators, and we get 8/14. So So we have 27 and 8/14. Now, we do have a proper fraction here, but it's not in what we call lowest terms. So we need to put it in lowest terms, which means we need to find out the greatest common factor of the two numbers, our numerator 8 and our denominator 14. So if we go through our divisibility rules, we can see that the greatest common factor is 2. You can divide 8 by 2, and you can divide 14 by 2. And that is going to give us 4/7. So the whole number will stay the same, 27, and 8 reduces to 4, and 14 to 7s, 27 and 4/7. And once again, when we do this 2 over 2 here, any number over itself is 1, and anything divided by 1 is itself.